Would you rather cross paths with a man or a bear in the forest? You said neither. You can't pick neither.
Oh, well then a man.
Yeah.
Man.
Man.
Bear.
Man.
Man.
Okay, just one bear. Why do you pick bear? And why don't you pick man?
I wish you watched this episode.
Into the mic.
I picked bear because I grew up camping and hunting, and so I feel like I have a better understanding of what to do in that situation, and men can be more unpredictable.
All right. Well, real quick, what do you do in that situation?
What do I do in that situation? I make a lot of
With the
noise, and
bear.
I make a lot of noise and try to scare the bear away. They're definitely more afraid of me than I am of it.
You make a bunch of noise?
Yeah,
Flail your arms, maybe?
probably.
Don't you run towards it?
No, you don't run towards it. You don't want
Yeah,
to show
run
aggression. You kind of, you want to make yourself look big, and you want to slowly walk away. You can't outrun it, so trying to run is a little dumb.
Isn't that for
we
specific
gotta
bears?
switch.
Huh?
Like, it's like black bears?
Well, I
or-
grew up camping in Yosemite, so
All
I'm
type of
I'm
bears?
talking.
Well,
That's just
we're not going to linger too long on this just because there's
Yeah.
only one bear answer.
One bear.
So you've made like an assessment that there's a risk with it when it comes to man. While the bear could kill you, the man, I'm assuming your position would be, well, the man could do like other worse things, essentially.
yes.
Yeah. What percentage of men then do you think would do this?
I think it's a low percentage of men that would.
How much?
I don't know the
10%?
statistics.
Well, what do you think? Or how do you feel? 10%, 20%, 30% more? 50?
I think that
50-50?
10% of men given the opportunity would make a poor choice. That's without knowing any statistics. So,
And does this
10% or
include,
less,
like-
is that fair?
Would this also include like 10% of your male relatives?
Yes.
Even 10% of your own family members?
Yes.
You're prepared to say that they are also rapists?
I think that presented with the opportunity, 10% of men or less would make a bad decision.
Including your immediate family members?
Yes.
Okay, well, that's all I got for that, really. Okay, all right,
Okay.
moving on, I guess.
Sounds good.
You think?
I don't-
Couldn't you just like yell and flail your arms, scare them off?
I mean, I don't think I can outrun a man, and I don't think that men are afraid of women.
I mean, you can
So-
outrun a bear.
I think a
You can
bear
outrun a
is
bear.
more easily startled by a loud being that it doesn't understand that a man is by a woman.
Oh, one last question on this, I guess. Does it change if it's 10 men versus 10 bears?
10 men versus 10 bears.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'd still choose the bear.
How about the 100 men, 100 bears?
I mean, that would be like a 50-50 split for me at that point. It's a lot of bears.
Okay, but 10 men, 10 bears. I'm just curious, though. You said, and I think your number's high, and it doesn't really reflect actual crime statistics, but you said 10%
Or
of,
lower. I
Oh,
clarified
well,
later.
Sure. Okay. But let's just, if we use even the higher number, the highest number you gave, 10%, that'd be one of the 10 men would do this. If they were all there, they're all there, right? It's, don't you think the 9 men that wouldn't be inclined to do this, 9 men versus 1 man, they could easily pull him off you? Like, what do you think that 9 other men would do in that situation?
So I
Just
wasn't
watch.
I wasn't taking into account that all 10 men would have input into the circumstances. I think that if there were 10 men present, the 1 man would be less likely to misbehave because of the presence of the other men.
But you still picked bear. 10 men versus 10 bears. You still picked 10 bears.
I did not consider the opportunity that the other 9 men would be preventative measures to the 1. I didn't consider that when I gave my answer to the bear. So if we can say that 9 of those men would stop that 1 man, then I'd probably go with the 10 man.
Not necessarily, but I'm just using your own statistics.
If you were lost in Yosemite and you were in the forest for a couple of days and you saw a random man, would you ask him for help?
If I had been lost, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but wouldn't 10% of them then viciously essay you?
I mean, if I'm lost, it's kind of like a moot point at this point. I'm trying to survive.
Well, wait, that's
so
very strange.
if
Wait,
the risk is
that's
SA
super-
and survival, I'm going to choose survival for sure.
That's super strange to me, though, right? Here's why that's super strange. Because if SA would be preferable to getting mauled by a bear, right, then why would being lost in the forest not be preferable to being potentially SA'd? I don't understand that.
It's where you are in the process, right? So have I been lost for one day? Like, I feel pretty comfortable and confident in my abilities to survive.
Been lost for 3 days.
Again, I'm still pretty comfortable, but again, if I haven't seen anybody, then yeah, I'm going to talk to the one human that I'm coming across.
I just want to let you know that here's your order of operations for preferences. This is why it just doesn't make that much sense to me. You would prefer to be spawned in with a bear, even though there's a good potential that the bear would maul you to death, being spawned in the forest with you, versus a man, because the potential is that 1 in 10 men would make what you call a bad decision, which I assume is to SA you. If we were to extrapolate that logic, that means then 1 out of 10 men that you would run into in the forest would also do this, right? So why is that the threshold breaker, that being
So
lost
I guess
in
maybe
the
where
forest?
my-
Hang on. Let me finish the question. Why would it be the case then that being lost in the forest was less preferable to SA than being mauled by a bear?
Well, I guess I'm not really considering SA being worse than being mauled. I feel like if a man tried to attempt to SA me, I would fight to the death, so I'm dying either way. So that's why I would choose the bear. I would rather die brutally than have to fight off the
Well, then why
the
wouldn't you
SA.
just prefer to stay lost in the forest rather than have the potential of the SA? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, at 3 days, I mean, I'm looking at death either way, so that's where the logic comes from.
Yeah, but wouldn't you rather die in the forest than die being SA'd? Because you're fighting to the death?
I mean, starvation is a very slow death, so depending on where I'm at, again, in that process, the scale will slide.
Okay. I still
Level
don't
of
actually
desperation,
understand.
I guess, is where I'm at.
Well, I guess moving it on. Really quick question for you, actually. What's actually? Nah, never mind. It was just like something about something in your Instagram. Not a big deal though.
Okay.
Let's see here. Going back to the questionnaire, or actually, really quick, can we pull up Twitch, guys? Go to twitch.tv/whatever. Ooh, he was quick. Did you guys see how smooth? Oh my God,
We need to
chat.
finish
W's
that.
in the chat for Damien. I need W's in the chat for Damien. We need Wamian in the chat. Oh my goodness, he is on fire, Damien. He's on fire. Picanto, thank you for the prime. Humor, thank you for the prime. Creation, thank you for the prime. Guys, go to twitch.tv/whatever. Drop us a follow. Drop us a prime sub if you have one. Check if you have a prime sub available. It's a quick, free, easy way to support the show. Every single month, this podcast is viewer supported. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do the show. I'm not like over here. You know, we're dwarfing these other channels that are getting Spotify deals. We're dwarfing these. I'm not trying to be offensive to the little people. It's just like